Diddy did not do the soundtrack for the
I,
new one
I
because it's
stand
not
by I
relevant.
stand by that comment. I hope people quote it.
Hello, everybody.
I was like, "Where's
Hi.
Diddy?
So we are live, and I'm Anthony
Where's Diddy?"
Jones, and right now I have my guest speaker is Kalen Chalk. Say hello, Kalen.
Can't stop, won't stop. Hello, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, and Kalen's black, so this is what he looks like. He looks like this.
Dole, maybe draw a picture of you again with the shake weight.
My turn now. This is what Kalen looks like, and I'm sticking to it.
Dirty. Whatever. Whatever.
And and then we have our moderator, John.
What's up, guys?
And that should be it. That's all you guys should care about. So today we're going to be talking just about some stuff. I think Kalen's seen Godzilla. I have seen Godzilla. John has. You saw Godzilla too, right? We all
Yeah,
saw it.
yeah.
Yeah, and it just got released today. So we're thinking about talking about it for just a little bit. Just something that I want to do with these streams is be a little bit comment on the art industry and entertainment industry, anything that's relevant to us, anything that we have to say and comment on it. We'll have an open discussion for about 10, 15 minutes. And then after that, we're going to go straight into a Q&A for the last 45 minutes of today. So today is going to be a relatively short session. But we're going to do a Q&A. So John should be able to write you guys a format on how we like to answer questions, which is you write the word question, and then
Question?
you put colons, and then you put your question, whatever it is. You can put your name in there. You could put name, whatever your name is, dot question, and then whatever your question is. So that way we know who you are, or you can just leave it as is. It doesn't matter. We don't need to address you specifically. We can just answer the question. John will collect the questions, and when we're done talking, we will go straight into the Q&A. And what we'll do is Kayla and I will be painting, just whatever. Kayla's probably already painting. And I will just basically switch between the screens, so that way you guys can see and just see what we're doing, and just ask us questions about anything. Our mentorships for this upcoming month of October are pretty much closed. There are, I think, a few more seats left in Kalen's evening class, right? I think like maybe two more
Yeah.
seats. But other than that, every other class is sold out, so it's unfortunate for anyone else. John can direct you guys to the mailing list. Can you send them directly to the sign-ups link of the website? So if you go to my website on the sign-ups link, I'll bring it up right now actually too, so you guys can see kind of what I mean. So yeah, you can see how I navigate through it. So if you see on my screen, you can go to the mentorships, and then there's the sign-ups, and then you can go there, and then from there, if you want to see what the class is about, and see, get any more questions or have any specific thing you want to go ask about, you can go to here, and on the very bottom, there's a waiting list, and this allows you to have get in contact with us through your email, and we will have it on record. So when we send out emails about the next sign up, because we're going to be doing one in November, I think we're going to be doing. I'm going to be bringing back the character, and I'm going to be doing creature. Both of those in
Ooh.
November, and then Kayla and I are probably going to talk a little bit more, see if he's open for November as well. He's going to also do something very similar to what we're doing, which is alternate his lessons, and it'll be still environment based, but maybe it could be something a little bit different, like maybe like color keys or prop design. Something that's very environment strong and heavy that will help you increase your environment portfolio. The way the mentorship's going is great. You guys wait till you see the student gallery for some of the guys who are doing some of the mechs. This class is crazy. But anyway, my point is that the class is going well. People are creating great portfolio pieces, and I am going to be going to Indiecade in the early next month, along with
Yeah.
Caleb. We're going to be going there. I have a miniature game which I'm going to be presenting to people. It's not really anything, but Caitlin actually has a game in which he'll be presenting to people but for different reasons. And so if you guys are in Culver City or in LA area, we'll be there. You guys are welcome to hang out with us, meet up with us. Um, but I'm also going to try to get jobs through the company, so that way I can. One of the things that I've been doing through my mentorship is I've been keeping the names of all the students who really impress me with their work, and what I'm going to do is to try to outsource the work that I get to them, or have them be a part of me making good work for the client, and then giving them a cut of the profits that I made. So that it's what I'm trying to do with the mentorship is not only make it a place where people can learn and be educated, but also give them an opportunity to get a job in the industry through me, because I am legally a company and I can actually go through all the legalizations, legal stuff, and manage all that stuff and actually pay you as an employee. But I'm still working on that. I might have to do it with like a few students at first. I can't do like a bunch until I can kind of get the hang of it. Sorry, everything's slow, small bites. And then, yeah, and then Heaven's Hell should be officially done by next week.
Oh
And
shit, that's gonna be done soon. I was wondering
yeah,
about that.
like officially, like it's like we've just got
Officially.
Dan Levisi just wrote my forward for me, which was great and lengthy.
Oh, nice.
Um, Also, we got all the backers' names. I think we still need to organize and get that officially cleaned up and ready to go. We'll have to send it out either today or on Monday. And but then the artwork is pretty much done. It's been done. I just have to compile it and give the guys like I guess I gave everybody like when I gave the editor all the images, it was just a bunch of flattened images which are not useful to them. Um, like some of them obviously are okay being flattened, but others were not okay to be flattened, and so I have to kind of go back and re-edit those. But those shouldn't take me too long. It should take me a good day at the most to get that all organized. And we're done. We're
Cool.
done. And
And
well, I mean, like we're done on my end, and then they will show me their progress before they shoot it to the printers, and then
do you know how long it will take in terms of like
and I have
after
no
you shoot
idea.
it to them?
I know
Nice.
I know Scott told me that the printing process is actually really quick. They've
Oh,
got like
really?
a really good printing machine. It's just the artist aspect of it, like people like me that are just super lazy and don't get shit done on time. It's my fault of the delay, but it's okay. I think we're finally there. We're on the home stretch. It's great. A lot of relief is coming off of my chest, which allows me to go back to my game and really kind of full throttle that and really kind of work on that and make something really cool, which is my goals right now. My goals right now. My goal. Okay, so let's talk about Godzilla. Yeah, and then as we're talking about Godzilla, I'm gonna just do a little fan piece of Godzilla where we're talking about it. So John, time us for a good 10 minutes, so we don't go on super arguing rants. You are dumb because Godzilla is supposed to be 20 feet tall. What? 20 stories tall? No. Anyway,
All right, timing. Go.
okay. So I was I was one of those people who loved Godzilla as I was growing up. I don't know about you, Kaylin. Did you ever watch Godzilla when you were a kid?
I mean, I watched it a little
You
bit. I didn't. I
son of
wasn't
a...
really.
You're a liar. Don't
Oh,
lie,
No.
dude. Don't lie.
I've seen like the thing, but back then it seemed kind of cheesy. Like I think I was probably more into
Jesus.
like Power Rangers Zords,
What
which
Power Rangers? Okay,
well, I mean, it's
this
kind
is
of
a
the
bad
same thing.
idea.
It's like it's just people fucking up angel groves.
Yeah.
All
So
the
so yeah, I remember when I watched Godzilla as a kid. I loved it. I mean, I loved giant monsters. I mean, who doesn't as a kid, right? And one of the things that I remember about Godzilla that you know that really was cool is that like he was huge, like he was super massive. And I remember like the old versions the were like really good because they really conveyed how tall he could have been. And one thing that I liked about the new one is that they did that. They really made him huge, right? Because remember, like the one that we were talking about before we started the stream, the freaking P Diddy one. Remember the P Diddy one? Come
best
with me.
soundtrack of all time, man. Come with me. God, I love Diddy. I love all of his antics.
Shake your body, foot up on it, hit it.
Try to fight me. He's trying to fight me.
Yeah.
One of the viewers said, "Have you ever seen the animated series
No, I have
Godzilla?"
not. I have not.
What? Is it an animated series? Well,
I
I'm
bet it's good.
behind.
Usually, animated series of things are usually pretty good.
If Diddy was a part of it, we'll download it.
Anywho, I remember that one. Like they made him really tiny, right? I mean, he was huge, but he was like not like as tall as he was in the movies. And so when the new one came out, I was super excited. Like the tone was great. And by the way, this is spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the movie. I'm gonna say some stuff, but like I watched the trailer and it's like the music's all cool and creepy. You're like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is terrifying. And then you see Godzilla. There's a scene where like you see Bryan Cranston running. He's like, "What are we doing? Monsters are living!" And he's just saying his, Bryan Cranston yelling stuff. He's like, "I am the one who knocks," and it's all good. And then we see Kick-Ass, and then Kick-Ass is like, "I'm in this movie," and you were just like,
shit, that's Kick-Ass. I forgot of
"Yeah, yeah, yeah."
that moment when you know.
Yeah, so he's in the movie, and then we're just kind of like, okay, cool. And it's funny because Kick-Ass and that the Olsen sister, one of the Olsens is in it, and they're
For real?
yeah, his wife. That's one of the Olsens. She's actually the younger sister of the Olsen twins. So
Oh shit!
yeah, if you look at her now, you'll totally see it, right?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
so
thought there's just two of them.
it's funny though. This is some good trivia. Is that Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch, I believe, in the new Avengers movies, is played by those two characters. So there's in one movie they're like married, and then now in this Avengers movie they're brother and sister. Gross.
That's
Game
weird.
of Thrones, dude. Game of Thrones.
Gross.
Anyway,
Dun, 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 dun.
anywho, I watched this movie, and I walked out of the theater after watching the movie, and I was like, this movie was good, I think. And then I talked to Dan, Dan McGowan. I talked to him about it. And Dan, he's very firm opinionated. Like when he makes a decision, he's like really firm about it.
Oh, he's about that life. He knows.
And I talked to him. I was like, hey, did you see Godzilla? He's like, garbage, complete garbage. And I was like, whoa,
Whoa, hey, bro.
And then we talked more about it. And then he actually convinced me. And I was like, you know what? I think you're right. I think it was garbage. And to me, I try not to be very, nitpicky about movies, and I try not to really voice my opinion too often. And if I do, I try to stay objective about it and try to think about what it is that I did not like about the movie and what I think could have done better, and what it did well, and what it did bad, right? So to me, my first impression of the movie was great. And that could have had a lot to do with my nostalgic factor because I knew there's something about it that bothered me, but I just, it was one of the things you can't admit. It's like how everybody felt when they first saw the Star Wars prequels, right? They left the movie, everyone's quiet in the car, no one talks, and everyone's just like, yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah, that was great. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, I love Star Wars. Yeah, me too. No one's going to sit there and be like, what the fuck was Jar Jar Binks about? Right? Because you don't want to be that guy that hates on this legacy of the movie, right? Anyhow. So I thought about it more, and I realized what I don't like about the movie, and it really bothers me after the fact. The number one complaint that I had with the movie like Pacific Rim was that it didn't have enough monsters fighting robots. That was like the main attraction for me, man. Like they had like a story, and they were trying to tell me one, and I was, I don't really care. I actually just want giant robots fighting giant monsters. And if that was my complaint with Pacific Rim, then holy crap, my complaint with Godzilla is tenfold because the movie catfishes you, man. Catfishes you hard. You know what I mean? So they make you think that Bryan Cranston's in the movie. But he dies in like the first 20 minutes, right? I think not even that, like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that part was kind of whack.
Yeah, I was like, what the? I was like, okay, well, it's fine. It's movie's got about Godzilla, so it's okay.
He's gonna come back, right? Like,
yeah, he's radioactive version of him.
He's gonna wake up. He's not gonna wake up?
No, he's not. Okay, cool.
Okay, he's gonna come back. Not number 2.
Yeah, and then
it never happened.
And then every time like Godzilla was about to fight, like really fight, they would cut away. Like even remember when he comes for the first time to Hawaii to fight the Mothra-looking bird people,
Yeah.
whatever. Like right when they're about to get into it, it cuts away to the kid watching it on TV, right? And I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it. They're trying to suspense the suspense. I get it. And then when they finally actually fight, Godzilla gets his ass whooped, and he just kind of lays there. And I'm thinking to myself, wait, why am I rooting for Godzilla anyways? Like, why do I care that he is fighting these giant monsters? And if you watch the movie, the reason that like what's his name, fucking from Inception, he was just like, let them fight because Godzilla needs to balance things. And I'm like, what is he trying to balance? What? If anything, these guys are trying to get together. They're trying to get married. These little two guys. They fall in love. In fact, they're doing us a favor. They're getting rid of power plants, right? Getting rid of nuclear waste. That's what they feed off of. So what's Godzilla's motive? I must balance things. So he goes over there, and I imagine him killing all these monsters. After he kills them, he grabs a scale, and it's like balanced, and he says, now everything is balanced. And he goes into the water, and he goes to sleep again. And everyone's like, oh, cool. Godzilla did a good job. He balanced things. What did he fucking balance? He came in there, he destroyed hundreds of thousands of buildings. When he just coming out of the water, he capsizes like the shore of Hawaii. Balance. must store balance. And as you start to think about it, I'm like, man, what did they do to my Godzilla, right? And I try not to get too mad about this, right? And one thing that I want people to understand is that I love Godzilla. And I thought the movie was okay. I thought the movie was good. It did a really good job. It had a really good sense of scale. And I really actually liked the design of Godzilla. I thought he was freaking cool. Right? I thought he looked really, really tight. My problem, I guess, was I wish they just had more of him. It just really it was weird to me. I don't know. I don't know what was your thoughts. Those kind of where I stand.
I mean, I kind of got the idea of the balance thing. I mean, I guess that didn't bother me that much because I'm like, okay, well, he's like the alpha thing. Like his job is to hunt down like people, like hunt down like crazy ass animals. So I'm like, all right, we'll
Sure.
keep him for that. He's kind of like a daddy long leg. Like you keep him around because he's gonna eat other plants and stuff like that. But yeah, I kind of
But
wish
he
there was
didn't. But
more.
let's clarify something. He didn't eat them. He just murdered them and then just
Well,
goes back
that's
home.
that's cool too. Like as long as they're not
Alright.
running around like doing some fucking mating dance and shit and fucking up, San Francisco. Like
Sure.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I liked it. I didn't have a problem with that. One thing that was kind of silly though is just like they need to be a little more realistic with like military and how they take it on because military are dumb. Like they're like,
You
get
love
the
it.
F-16s, and I'm like, that's not gonna do anything, man.
Yeah, I think at this time, if people watch enough movies, if you're in a
Like,
situation that's very movie-like, you would almost assume. I would imagine like one cadet being like, General, do you think that's the best idea? Our planes are literally
like
a
paper
16th
clips.
of the scale. 5 more minutes, and and I'm just like thinking. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, like you're right. Like I mean, we're a different kind of audience. The suspension of disbelief needs to be a little bit more explored. Um,
Because like they're sending like foot soldiers after it. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna
yeah,
die. You're gonna die. You might as well just call your family and say we're dead.
yeah, and look, I'm big. I'm actually a big believer that you're okay to do stuff like that in movies where you can kind of trick the audience into thinking that what you're doing is like a legit strategy, right? Like it's gonna work out.
Hmm.
But if the tone of the movie is very silly and fun and exciting, well, you can get away with stuff like that, like a talking raccoon, for example. Right? I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and I thought that was really, really good. I loved every minute
Yeah.
of it. Right? I
It was
can't think of
delicious.
Well, I don't think it's a
it
good
was great,
comparison because that's like very like that's
but
super sci-fi kind of.
that's what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm trying to compare it. Is that it's the tone of it is clearly fun and adventurous, right? It's very very Star Wars, very Indiana Jones. You can kind of let it get away with like some of the fun. But then if you compare it, this movie is trying to be like dark and gritty, right? It's trying to be like
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's
Yeah.
Batman. It's then you have to like I think you agree with you like all right guys, let's send the paratroopers like right on ground zero. Like we
Like,
could walk around. I mean, we
what the
do
fuck is he
have
gonna do when he
planes and
lands
stuff.
on him? I want him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, take him down.
And so and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with all of that too. Still, the one thing that bothered me is I wish there was more Godzilla fighting Godzilla. I really did because or not Godzilla fighting Godzilla, but Godzilla fighting some of those monsters because they were cool. They were cool, and I thought that would have been really fun to see. And they were just slowly getting into it. Where in Pacific Rim they did a lot of it. It was so great. I love that movie. I thought that movie was great. In fact, I think that movie is a better monster movie than Godzilla was. I really do.
Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
I think Pacific Rim. I mean, having seen some of the guys worked on it, it really seemed like when they were on the project that it seemed like it wasn't so much as much story driven, but like let's just make cool robots, man. Let's make cool robots fighting stuff, and then it seemed like they really wanted to go back to that kind of opera of like just monsters versus like robots. I think did a pretty good job of that. I mean, that's the first time I've seen someone cheer in the movie theater a long time. Like when they fought that one flying one,
Yeah.
and he like stabbed it and stuff, and the guy is like, it's just like epic shit. It's like let's have a robot carrying a ship to use it as a bat.
Yeah, that's so
So you
cool.
can, you know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. Like even like the robots, like they're kind of like they don't necessarily make that much sense. Like why'd you make a robot like that? But they look cool, you know? Like the Russian ones that have like a straight kind of like cylinder head, and then it's just like it's this really cool
Yeah.
idea in terms of just like let's just have robots just fight monsters. But even that seems like a lot more plausible to me than the way that they handled it because it was like, all right, there's these imaginary monsters. We don't know how to fucking do anything, so let's just build mechs and like we'll figure this out. That seemed more plausible than like
Yeah, we
sending paratroopers. Like you know what I mean? Like building
Yeah.
a wall seems legit too, but I'm like, all right, but that's not gonna work.
Yeah, Attack a Titan immediately. Like, I mean, still, I would have been like in the break room, I'm like, I don't think this wall idea is a good one, dude.
Yeah.
Why don't we like, that one British or Australian robot that can like has cannons in its chest? That thing does a pretty good job of
But
obliterating
like
these
the
monsters.
the wall thing,
Why don't we just build a bunch of turrets like that
Yeah.
and just like right at the Pacific Rim? I mean, we know when they're gonna come. Like we have a timer, right?
but like the wall thing is so stupid because one could fly.
Yeah. Well, that was a surprise. It, we gotta end it. But like in the context of the story, it was a surprise that one could fly. Like they was like they've evolved. But I mean, yeah, I mean if you know they're getting better, you kind of have to assume that eventually they're
Like
gonna catch on.
can't one
Hopefully
fly
they
or
won't
come
get flies.
underground?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's gonna happen.
So my overall impression of Godzilla, because it just got released, I think it's good. I'm probably gonna still get it. I'm gonna wait till the nice special edition one because I still loved watching the making of these types of movies. I still appreciate all the visual effects artists that work on it because I know tons of them, and I think they did a good job. I think if more of Hollywood allows some of the people that are creatively in charge of like the production level of it to give them a little bit more say in like how to, I think when people do that for their teams, I know James Cameron's really good about artistic creativity, but at the same time he's a dictator about it too. I think he's just very firm. He knows what he wants, but he allows his
Yeah.
artists to kind of. But then again, he probably only hires artists that are capable, right? And but my point is that there's something about collaborative efforts that I've been seeing more and more in these indie levels of films and games and all this stuff, and it's starting to be very clear to me that give people more room to be creative and
Yeah.
just stop trying to make money and start trying to make something that's actually good, right? Like in all levels, like Marvel's like nailing it to the wall. They're not only making good stuff, but they're making tons of money because they realize, hey, we don't need to make a movie that people want to see like according to the blockbuster sales. We're just gonna make a good movie. We're gonna make a movie that's good, right? And see how that works. Oh, guess what? It works really well. Just make a fun movie. So, hey, this movie has a raccoon in it. How should we approach this? Well, the only way to make people believe that is just make it fun. Just make it really fun, make it funny, make it hilarious. show a lot of cool action sequences. Let's make that raccoon so lovable that if people start questioning where he comes from and how he comes from, then people will get mad at him because that character's awesome. Yeah, let's just do that. All right, let's do that
I've
because
been
it's gonna be
waiting for
fun.
Rocket Raccoon forever. I'm glad
Yeah.
they put him in there.
Well, like it's creative, right? Like, and if you look at their marketing strategy with it too, like everything they did was like wrong according to kind of Hollywood standards. Like they did it like they didn't do the poster. Did you see that one mock poster slam on it where they were making fun of it? Like in a sarcastic way, they're like, "Look, this is a terrible movie poster because it's not just the face of the actor. It's not a screenshot of the, it's like there's no
Yeah.
explosions in the background. There's no sight, and it's like every poster, every other poster in the movie theater, right? It's not a character standing in front of wreckage, right? And it shows like four movie posters of four different movies that are exactly the same.
Yeah. It's always warm and cool. It's not
Yeah,
warm and
yeah.
cool. Like,
It was like an old kind of Drew Struzan type of vibe, right? It was cool. And then the marketing of it was really funny and goofy, right? They had like 80s music, whatever, playing in the background, or was it
yeah.
80s or 70s? I forget. But
It's like 80s. Same,
yeah,
it's in
but
there.
the idea of everything they did wrong, but yet that movie was a hit. It did really well, and I think it has everything to do with it being a really good movie. And Marvel's taking chances because they can, and they want to. They've been doing it since Iron Man, and they continuously do it. And I think they're like a powerhouse. They're almost competitive in the sense of pushing their IPs, like what you call it, freaking Pixar. And I think it has all that has to do with like Disney and Pixar and Marvel all being in the same kind of umbrella right now, and they're just
Totally.
like all like talking to each other, like, "Hey, this works for us. You guys should do it too." All right, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad they spanned away from the typical like let's just do like a Spider-Man Iron Man thing, and they went with like more like a cult classic, stuff that people follow if they've like followed the comics or played the video games, but something that like the everyday person wouldn't see. Because when I saw it, I was like, oh hell yeah, like Rocket Raccoon and like Nova, they're gonna have Nova in it, which they didn't have, so I'm assuming it's gonna be in the second one.
Nova
But
would be tight. He's my favorite. He looks so tight.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck is Nova? Like, where's the Centurion? It'd be so dope. And then I saw in the art book though they did like a Nova design helmet, so he's got to be in the next one. But
Yeah.
I'm like Rocket Raccoon do log traps from like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like hell yeah, that'd be so dope. But then when my girlfriend was like, who doesn't do art, she's like, this looks silly. I don't understand. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Did she see it?
but then she saw it and she was like, oh, I love Groot, like I love Rocket, and she's like, it's so cute. And I was
Oh,
like,
dude.
yeah, I told you you'd
I
love it.
I seriously could not stop laughing in the scene
Yeah, me
at the
too.
very end where they're like they're grouped together for the once they're like it is inevitable they're gonna get together and get their shit together. And then Rocket Raccoon's like, all right, I'll stand. Now I'm standing too. We're just a bunch of jackasses standing around. I just couldn't stop
Yeah, there's a
laughing.
lot of like, or when like Drax like shot the girl with the rocket, like doesn't allow her
Oh,
to talk,
dude. It
he
was so
fucking lights
good.
her up, and he's just like,
Nothing
oh.
goes over my head.
Or when
Reflexes are
Groot
too
like
fast.
kills
It was
those
just
people
so
for like
good.
like an
That's so
awkward amount of
great.
time, he's like like murdering them, he's screaming, he's like ah, they're like, yo, Groot, I think you got him.
So a couple questions are related now.
Okay, so let's go to the Q&A. We'll just organically... thanks for that transition. That was a smooth transition, John.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So we're going to go to the Q&A section. I'm going to continuously paint on this thing, but while I do, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to Kalen's screen. Well, actually, I'm trying to figure that out right now. But go ahead. Don't you touch my...
One of the first questions is, how do you create different moods within a painting, and what specifically did you study to get better at it?
Wait, say that question again?
Yeah, did you say multiple
Slower.
moods?
How do you create different
I
moods?
said say it slower.
How do you create different?
Yeah, you can't do
He said
it.
the same. He said it with a lower
Different.
voice tone.
Moods.
Okay,
Within?
different moods. If I'm getting you correctly, different moods to me just means like different colors, right? Because that's really what it is. In different lighting setups, from dramatic overhead lighting to side lighting, whatever. But at the end of the day, it really is just about the color and lighting, right? And if you have a lighting that is very dramatic and very harsh, and you have it casting on your character, it's going to look really dramatic. And if you have it as a warm tone, it could be very hopeful slash dramatic. But if you have it really cold and cool, then it would feel very kind of isolating, but dramatic. And you could do the same. You could have a color scheme that is very open, like daytime lighting, right? And have it very warm, and it'd feel again very joyous, very warm. But then if you do it with a little bit colder tones, it would feel it could push the same drive, but maybe in a different way because of the lighting setup. The colors play a big deal, and lighting plays a big deal. In fact, whenever I talk to people about color, I say to them, color. Like people like, how do I paint color? How do I paint color? I said, don't worry about color until you start thinking about what you want to do with the sense of what you want your character to feel like, or your creature, or whatever your painting you want it to feel like. Because that's really color really plays the biggest component there. You know, uh, if you're worrying about color as a form thing, you're thinking of it all wrong. You're gonna find yourself screwing up
Color
more
doesn't
than
mean
you.
anything. It's
Yeah,
just by itself. It's just abstract.
yeah, color is actually an illusion. They've been proving this more and more that it's really our brain's interpretation of wavelengths of light, right? And you could grow up knowing a certain way of thinking of those wavelengths of light and actually see different colors differently. And not in the extreme, like if I see red, you see blue type of thing. But if I can see red and reddish blue, in some cultures they don't even think of reddish blue as a color. They just look at that as also blue, right? And they grow up thinking of that only as blue. And so when you show them a reddish blue amongst a bunch of blue, they literally can't see it. Where we
Right.
could totally see it. It's like easy. And vice versa. We only know certain shades of orange, I believe, right? If you show this culture, like they have dozens of different oranges that they can see, and for them it'll be easy to spot. So it's not like we're advanced because we are exposed to certain types of education. It's just it's really a cultural and psychological thing. It's really kind of bizarre actually. The more you think about it, but the reality is all the wavelengths are the same. It's just our brain will interpret them differently. In fact, I think as you become a better painter, you start to see more colors. Like I could see colors more than let's say an average person, right? Because I've trained my eye a little bit more than average people and who just start out painting, and so I can totally see if their values are off or their saturation is too much. Because I've been there, done that, right? So if you're trying to like work on mood, I think that's the best thing you should do for yourself if you're trying to get different moods. Is just worry about the lighting setup and worry about like values. I don't know what do you think, Kalen?
Paint different moods. Yeah, I would say it's. I think the best thing to. Yeah, I think color is really, really important as well. I think the best way is just to go out there and just start evaluating color. I think that's something that people take for granted. Is that there's like so many interesting color harmonies and just color situations that you come across in your everyday life, from when you're driving or when you're walking. Um, I find myself just stopping a lot of times and just like looking at it and being like what color is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what
What
color is that
what
tree? Like,
color
I
would
know it's
that be?
green. I know it's green, but like, but why does it feel like it's warm? Like ask myself those kind of like intuitive questions, like being really critical, being like, okay, I know it's supposed to be like an orange color, but why does it feel cool? Like, what's happening in there? And then maybe going home and looking at that. But definitely being able to evaluate color in terms of like mood. It's a very interesting thing because I think everyone, I think that can also be kind of cultural too, like you said.
Hmm.
Because for us, we have a lot of very cultural things, right? We say like, you're blue, right? Oh, are you feeling blue? It's like, well, what does that mean? Oh, you're feeling blue because you're down. You know what I mean? Or like, you're green with envy, that kind of stuff. So, um,
Yeah, and where in some cultures blue actually means joy and
yeah,
fun.
exactly. So I think a lot of times, which is kind of fun too, because then you get to kind of explore cultural differences on how they perceive color, and then try to be able to play off that. So then a lot of that too is trying to figure out, is just figuring out your audience. Who is your audience and how do they perceive color? Because it's actually a big thing, because if you're putting in a certain color thinking that it's going to do this, but then apparently that culture thinks that color and they're like, this is the saddest color I've ever seen. Fuck you.
Why
Like,
are you so
you know what I
smart,
mean? So like you got to be able to. It's kind of interesting. I've always tried to like evaluate that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think just evaluating culture is a good way to kind of help you with your mood as well in terms of kind of just figuring out like what you're trying to achieve. But another thing to do is just paint from straight color. I think as well will really help you out.
And then it also says what kind of studies would help you.
I think Kayla just covered that just now.
Okay.
The study thing, what you can really do as well is just grab a photo and just try to color pick. Try to guess the color. And
then color pick it, and then put it next to.
yeah. So like,
put it
on my
next to the
screen,
color that you
yeah,
guessed, right? Oh,
yeah. So on my screen, so if we're here, I'll just do one real quickly. So if I'm looking at this part of this image right here, right, and I'm like, why is this not working?
His screen?
Yeah, if you switch to my screen. So if I'm looking at this color right here, right, I'm like, what color is that? Okay, well to me, I'm like, it's probably a blue, but it's probably desaturated, right? And it's probably kind of light, or it's actually kind of saturated, but it's a little bit darker, and it's probably towards like the purple area. And then I guess it, right? So I go, okay, what color is that? I put it down. And then I guessed, and I click on this one, and I was off. So apparently, instead, it was more blue, and it was brighter, and actually more saturated. Actually, that's actually really interesting. So I never would have thought that. But it seems like I was too far over on this view. And so what you want to do is you can do a bunch of these little studies, and to see if you can get within like 10 or 5. So like my threshold is like 5. Like I gotta be at least 5 with every single one of them. But if you can start with 10 or 20 and then kind of work your way, it really helps you try to figure that stuff out. I think even AJ, I know AJ is really good at like he can lay down any kind of black or white value, and he can guess that value within like at least 1 or exactly.
Let's test it. You do it. Go ahead and put down a gray value. Let's see how good I am.
All right. I take this off so you don't see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't allow me to cheat, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, like 70%, 72.5%. What the? That is
Fucking
perfect.
cheater over here.
That is perfect.
This guy. All right, I'm gonna pick some fucking really neutral as a gray color.
Well, they're all gonna be gray.
Well, I mean, like it could be like super black or like really really white, but I'm put like really in that middle, so it's hard to kind of guess.
Don't do that, because then it actually will be easier, especially if you just told me.
All right, it's not gonna be neutral gray.
So one of the next questions for AJ.
All right, there you go. What's that value?
When is Heaven's Hell coming out?
I think that's like a 40% around there. Yeah, maybe.
40%, and the survey says 37. So he was close. He was within 3.
3% off. Oh well.
Yeah.
I suck.
That's pretty good though. My threshold is 5. Yours was 3, so better than what I get.
So that's a good practice then.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. When's Heaven's Hell coming out, AJ?
We talked about this earlier. I officially going to be done next week, and then it's going to be going to the printers as soon as everything gets reviewed and edited. So that way there's no misspellings, that all the images are there correctly, all that stuff before we send it to mass print. And then when it goes out to mass print, then I will know officially when the book is officially done. So I don't know exactly when the book will be out on the store shelves, but when I do, I'll let you guys know. Everyone who follows me will be the first to know. But there is nothing holding the book back anymore. It should be pretty much ready to go. There's only a few things left that I have to kind of compile and send it to the editors, but yeah, it's done. It's actually been done for a little bit. I've just been going through some editorial stuff and trying to get a hold of DSP.
If someone wants to get a copy of it, hold on one second. My dog is barking all crazy. Hold on a second.
Sorry.
I'm live right now, okay? Sorry about that. Anyways.
I'm going live.
We're going live. Sorry. The question I was going to ask you was, if someone wanted to buy your book that hasn't pre-ordered it, like myself, because I'm a terrible friend, I'm sorry.
What the? I'm just kidding.
Dude, I gave you like $20 for like the Kickstarter. I don't know. Like, I helped make it, man. I helped make it. Uh, how would I get that?
Yeah, once it's out, it's out. Like it's you can go to I'm sure you can go to like Barnes and Nobles.
Oh,
You
it's
can
gonna be
go
Barnes and
to
Noble. We're
yeah,
going there.
seriously, or you can go to Amazon. Like because Design Studio Press, they're like a they're officially like a
Oh, so you're doing it through Design Studio.
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah,
once
yeah,
once it's out, it's like you could. I think it's actually still available for pre-orders on Amazon.
yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna do that, but I'll I'll probably pick it up on the way like a movie at Barnes and Noble.
All right,
That'll be dope. That'll be
whatever.
dope.
Next question.
Next question says, I'm a beginner, and as I keep drawing, my art turns worse and worse as I do my daily gestures. How would you go about avoiding this?
You get worse and worse.
That
Um,
really happening though? Like that's a weird thing to be like
I doubt
every
that's the
day. Yeah,
case.
I doubt you're getting worse and worse.
So
That's like really, it's a really bad situation.
um, I would if whoever that person is, if they can elaborate and can look for it. But I'm assuming what you might be going through is that your taste is higher than your ability. What that means is that you have a good standard of what you think is good. Wait, are you painting right now or no?
Yeah, I'm painting. What's up?
Oh, what? It froze. Can you refresh your thing?
I will refresh my thing.
Okay, we'll come back to you in a
Um,
second. But anywho, what I was saying is, your taste might be higher than your abilities. So whenever you put down a mark or whatever you draw, you feel like you suck and you feel like you're getting worse. But here's the truth, my friend. If you keep at it, if you keep drawing, there's literally it's seriously impossible for you to get worse. Just the act of drawing a straight line. Like if you spend every day for like 1 month drawing straight lines, at the end of the month, we can all agree that you're going to get better at drawing straight lines, right? And that's so like on a motor skill level, you would be getting better, right? You would get better at some certain thing. Now, there's something that you can also be contributing to your lack of understanding of why you think you're getting worse, but the reality is you're not. Is that if you are, let's say, doing a study, and I hear this word thrown around a lot, and the way people approach studies, I see what they do, and I don't judge them. I don't say anything negative, but I know in my heart that what they mean to say is my copy or my replication of
He
said
said,
work.
I mean when I draw nonstop in one sitting.
When you draw nonstop in one setting, well, then
Sitting.
that means you don't know how to finish a painting. That doesn't mean that you get worse and worse because you just as you're painting you don't know how to you just don't know how to finish it. So what's making you draw it worse and worse is that you aren't sure how to take the next step. Right? Like whenever I see people draw with line work, then so I'm gonna switch directions then with my comment. Um, when I watch people draw with line art, and I know a lot of people who are really good at drawing with line art, and then they do a paint over of it, and sometimes they hate their paint overs. And what usually is the case is that they don't know how to value their line work through the painting. In fact, they assume that they should paint out their lines as soon as possible. But the reality is that you should keep your lines as long as possible. So that way when you paint over it, you still have your guide because you spent all that time designing and working out your drawing. Might as well just keep it there until it's you get to the last stages, right? And for me, it's very, very important that you understand that it has nothing to do with your you being getting worse as you draw. It means you don't know what to do next. So the solution there is to know what to do next. Is to finish a painting, look at it, and say, what is making it worse? What am I doing wrong? So okay, well I'm at this level. I start to really hate my painting. And it could be when you start to paint over the lines and say, okay, me painting over the lines or me doing this thing is ruining my painting. So maybe I should re-elaborate how I approach this process. And once you do that, then you'll start to readjust and readjust and readjust. And those readjustments, they add up, you know? And eventually you'll know how to get past it. getting worse at your drawing only means you have lack of information, that you don't have enough valuable information to help you move forward. And that could be from anatomy, that could be to how to paint it, that could be structure, that could be all kinds of things. So you just gotta take it upon yourself to do one thing after another.
Next question says, "Hey Jay, would you be Godzilla or a billionaire?"
Godzilla, always Godzilla.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, it's Cordell's in here. Cordell Felix is in here.
I think I would be a billionaire. Hold on just a second. My wife is calling me.
Hold on a second. Shout outs to Cordell Felix. He's in the building right now. Cordell Felix is an amazing 3D artist. Currently working over at EA in Redwood City, and I believe you're working on Battlefield, right, Cordell? That's
Shit.
Battlefield. And I know John's a Battlefield fan.
It's my favorite game.
And if you're some Battlefield fans, we gotta show Cordell some love. I'm sure he's in the stream while he's working. Shame on you, Cordell. Get to work, man. Make my video game, bro. Make my DLC, bitch. I'm kidding. No, but Cordell's a good guy that he went to school with, art school with. He's a good guy. So shout outs to Cordell in the house, showing us some love in the stream. It's always good to see. Seriously though, make my game, dude. Make it time. And if anyone's here working on Evolve, then get out and work on that too. Like, don't stay in here.
Evolve.
Hello?
Yeah, Evolve beats it.
Hello?
What? Yeah, what's up?
All right. What's the next question? We may
Yeah,
have
the
to end
next
this
question-
stream a little sooner too, by the way. So we'll take on 2 more questions, and then we'll head out. And any other questions that were asked, we'll just save them. Yeah. So we're gonna do another stream next week, probably not on Friday. We'll actually might move it to a different time because I'm gonna be leaving. I'm gonna be going overseas for a few days. So
Yeah.
So we'll set up another stream, but we'll do it again next week sometime.
Okay.
So
Okay.
2 more questions then, yeah.
Yeah.
So first one says, first off, AJ, thanks for everything you do for the community. Mad respect to you, bro. Any advice for balancing work/study and family life when you have kids?
Yeah.
Don't have kids.
Don't have kids.
What?
No, of course not. I love Christian's in here. Christian's like, hey,
Kristen's like, wait, what? Get rid of him.
Father, I thought you loved me. Shut up, boy.
Execute Order 66.
Execute Order 66.
Whatever that means. He just looks at it. He looks at it. What's up, Christian? What the? Christian, run!
The younglings. Anakin,
Yeah.
did you bring us candy? I heard that Obi-Wan said you were going to bring us candy.
Yeah, I'd be like, whoa, dude, why are you stabbing 4-year-olds, Anakin? Calm the fuck down, bro.
Oh gosh, what a murderer, dude.
Yeah, dude. But you would think that one of those kids would have been waiting, like behind him, just ready to stab his ass for as soon as his back was turned with the lightsaber.
Honestly, wouldn't one of those kids actually be like bombed
Pretty
too?
good.
Yeah, like well, like I mean,
Like I'd be like, all right, once he stabs my friend AJ, and he's like staring at him, all like, I'm
and
coming
who's
from behind.
leaving? Who's
Get him.
leaving the Jedi Academy unattended, anyways? This is a bad establishment. It deserved to
like
break
it
burnt.
wasn't guarded.
All right,
They
let's
just
get
let
back to
drones guard it.
Yeah, let's get back to the question.
They let the stormtroopers get
So,
it.
the answer to the question is you just gotta budget your time effectively, and you have to be very cautious with your time, and more importantly, I generally like to do things early in the morning. I like to wake up early, get to work early, and do them early. Because when I get home, it's harder to do because I'm tired from work, and more importantly, like I want to hang out with my kids. I want to spend whatever energy I do have left, just chilling, hanging out with the wife and kids, and talking and walking and all that good stuff. So you gotta just schedule it. You gotta literally get yourself a calendar or set some sort of calendar and really stick to it and be really, attentive to it as much as you can. As much as you can, because I still even today, I'm falling a little behind on getting home, but it happens.
Oh no.
It happens, but it's okay.
Bay is gonna kill you.
No, it's
Yeah,
all
that's
good.
that's definitely that's definitely a life answer, and that's always a hard question. Like, you want to get better, but you
If
gotta
your
spend a little bit of time on it.
if your family cares about you, they will listen to your
Understand.
yeah, they'll listen to your concerns. And if they don't care about you, then you honestly you have to ask yourself, like, why doesn't my family care about me? Like, what am I doing wrong that makes them not care about my needs? You know, or what are they doing wrong? And then try to have an honest and deep conversation with them. But I'm sure that's not the case with you or whoever asked that question, mysterious person. Um, Because in most cases, that's not true. Most people don't want to be that person that be like, nope, don't follow your dreams. No one's
Dreams are
gonna.
dumb. Make
Yeah,
money.
yeah. Only people like your parents will say stuff like that because they want the best for you and they're afraid if you make bad decisions. But anywho, one more question and then we'll cut it and then we'll talk to you guys sometime next week. Yeah. One more question.
All right, that's all we got right now.
Oh, okay. Well then we're
Okay.
good then. Sweet. All right then.
Okay.
Well, thanks guys for hanging out. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but, all right.
No,
Peace.
no,
Peace.
we're like I said, we're still working on trying to make this a regular thing, a once a week type thing. It might not always land on Friday. It might not always not land on Friday, but like as we work it out and figure it out, you guys will be the first to know. Just make sure to follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, or any other thing that I happen to be on. But Facebook is most likely the best way to get a hold of what's going on, with the latest and greatest stuff that I'll be doing.
MySpace, bro. Bring it back.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring back MySpace, Friendster,
Bring
dude.
back, bring back Friendster, dude.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Make a Friendster account.
Is
Like
that?
that should be like the exclusive shit for like all like the real hardcore followers, and you give them like all like the promo codes and all that shit on Friendster. Friendster would be fucking freaking out. They'd be like, "What the hell is
Why
it?"
did our demographic go by 5,000 people?
Our demographic is increased by 5,000 views. It's got to be a. We'll look into it, Johnson. It's
All
got to
right,
be a glitch.
all right, Johnson. Okay, Johnson. Talk to you tomorrow, Johnson.
We got to figure this out.
I love you. I love you, Johnson.
No one uses Friendster anymore.
All right, guys. Thanks everyone for watching the stream. If you just showed up late or you didn't get a chance to watch it earlier, this will be live on the UStream, and it will also be uploaded onto YouTube. So feel free to follow my YouTube as well, in which you guys will be have access to. If you guys don't, we don't have any of that fancy like click here and press that button thingies, but you can always just click on the links that John can provide you. But if you go to my website, all those links are available to you guys, which is just robotpencil.net. So, anyways, thanks, Kalen. Nice talking with you as always.
No problem, bro.
Yep.
John, I miss you.
Thanks, John,
Miss
for
you too,
moderating.
man. Miss you too. Of course.
And then thanks everybody, and see you guys next week.